Morning cool awakens, passing days elusive spirits, with no need for that sun's hot-headed face. They revel in the mystical and have no fear of shadow. What am I doing? For they know the darkness as a holy place. Their nocturnal take on science is their perfect... I just am playing this in the wrong key or something. They play in love and morning comes too soon. I never do that. Laughing at the sun, sailing with the moon. Laughing at the sun, sailing with the moon. She knows the spring by blossom scent and the autumn by the wind, and knows you best by possibility. She hears your heart in your voice and knows your mood in your step, the grace of one who does not need to see to see. Cutting through the interference, unswayed by mere appearance, with a sense to sense when all's in tune. Laughing at the sun, sailing with the moon. 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 Oh, wow, where did I get lost in that first? I shouldn't admit that. You're not supposed to notice your wrong notes that you play. Just keep going.
Yeah.
I never do that. Here, I want to bring on, what do I do? Rex, I got to click this thing to get you on this screen. There we go. Thanks so much for joining us. This is Rex Wyler, and I want to ask you about some ancient history first, maybe how Greenpeace came to be. And I'm actually, here's how little I know. Was it whales first or anti-nuclear first? And maybe you could tell us. Hi, Rex.
Hi, Jim. Pleasure and honor to speak with you today. It was everything first. It was whales, nuclear, ecology, peace, social justice is always these ideas and movements really at their core, at their root, are all connected and always have been. So uh, even though the first campaigns of Greenpeace were anti-nuclear campaigns, sailing ships into nuclear test zones. But of course, at that time, we were all working in civil rights issues, women's movement, um, peace movement, and ecology movement. And the ecology movement at that time was, in a way, what was new in the world of social change was that even if we solved all of our social change issues, even if we achieved universal justice and gender equality and racial equality and so forth, that we were destroying the earth. We were destroying the foundation of all cultures.
Yeah.
And that we felt this in the 1970s, we had to have a global ecological movement that was as robust and as strong as these movements at the time, the civil rights movement and the women's movement and the peace movement.
And when you say we, you're not speaking the royal we. Who was this community of people that you how did that all come together?
Well, it was a group of people in Vancouver, British Columbia, many of whom were draft resistors from the US, like myself, as an example. Others, Canadian journalists and activists, a lot of journalists. I was a journalist at the time, working at a newspaper in Vancouver. Bob Hunter was one of the original Greenpeace founders, also as a journalist, working as a journalist in Vancouver. Ben and Dorothy Metcalf, both journalists. So we had an idea of how the media worked, and we had a commitment to peace and civil rights and social justice and ecology. And but the first campaigns were anti-nuclear campaigns, essentially borrowing a technique from the Quaker movement of sailing boats into nuclear test zones.
Yeah.
And so we came up with the idea to confront the whaling industry, because we knew that the whales were being slaughtered to extinction, but also felt that the whales were a species that people all over the world could relate to. They had families, they were intelligent, they had communication. From an ecological point of view, we don't necessarily see the whales as being any particularly more special than any other species. All species, it's all part of a living earth, a living web. So the ants and the bees, the pollinating insects, the worms, the birds are all significant and important.
Well, they are big when you meet them. So,
But the whales are impressive.
And of course, then Roger Payne and you know that we've both connected with Paul Winter. I got to do these musical things with whale songs. And we certainly didn't invent that. There were other people doing it. Suddenly, the songs of whales and this character and personality of whales was right there in the face of, in people's faces or whatever, in their ears. And suddenly they identified with it.
Yeah,
It seems like it's been a campaign that we can kind of point to as success.
well,
a lot of work to be done.
It was a success in the sense that we wanted to launch a global ecology movement.
Yeah.
And it was also a partial success in the sense that 10 years later, we were able to achieve a moratorium on pelagic deep sea whaling in a world moratorium on whaling. And the whales have returned. The humpback whales in the region that I live in British Columbia, Western Canada, the humpback whales have returned, and the humpback whales have increased in the southern oceans and so forth. So it was a success in that sense, and it was a success in the sense that we have achieved a global ecology movement.
Yeah.
It's very different. The ecology movement is very different in that sense than all the other social movements, because it's with in the human-centered movements, there's always a constituency that will fight for that movement.
Yeah.
In the ecology movement, we're asking people to stand up for another species.
Yeah.
And then the question, there's always a question. So who's the constituency? Well, of course, the unborn, our children are the constituency. Our grandchildren are the constituency.
Yeah.
Every other species on the planet is part of the constituency. But of course, in our human-centered world of human exceptionalism, we don't give a voice or vote to all those other creatures. So the ecology movement still has a long way to go and has a lot of challenges.
And we go way back, but I admit I hadn't kept in touch with how prolific you are. There, your blogs, and I've been reading this stuff. Check it out. It's just rexwyler.com, right?
That's right, rexwyler.com.
Yeah. Everybody, just take a look. And
it's actually .ca, Jim. It's
oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, I'm in Canada, so it's
up north.
rexwyler.ca.
Yeah. But Google Rex Wyler and you'll find all kinds of stuff. And he's got his fingers in a whole lot of stuff. And your writing is wonderful. And so Rex writes, he puts some music to songs too. And you amazed me by saying that this song, so I picked a couple. I've been having a good time messing with Rex's songs here a little bit, see if I can make a pass at playing this song. You mentioned the second one I'm going to do. You actually wrote back when we lived together in a group house in the Boston area. And I'm glad you said in something you wrote there, we were all broke back then or something. Yeah, we were. And, we were all piecing it together. And through New Age magazine, and not to mention that I was, I guess we connected through Paul Winter first.
You were playing with the Paul Winter ensemble, and I was working with New Age magazine in Boston and working on a book. And you were living in a house that with
6 or 7 people in this big mansion of a house.
Anyway, you had a room that came available.
Yeah.
And I moved in. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember I wrote this song in that house while I was there.
Well, the incredible Peggy Taylor and her husband Rick Ingrassi, they were kind of the center of a counterculture universe there in the Boston area.
They were.
I need to put on my magnifying glasses for this. Well, this is so beautiful, and I just asked you, can I change the gender? Because Rex obviously, I think, had his son in mind, and since I got a daughter. Oh boy, I tuned the string down a step for that first song, and then I'm putting this capo on there, but that's not going to work. The bass notes were not what I thought they were going to be. And there, how's that?
Much better.
That's sharp. Let's tune up. Okay. Night, 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 my love, night, night. Close your little eyes, dream a little dream. Spy a little boat floating down a little stream. See the sails all glowing in the golden evening light. Watch the waves rolling. Night, night, my love, night, night. A sailor and a ship were made to sail upon the sea. The sailor keeps the land he loves in his memory. A sailor and the wind are friends, never far apart. A sailor keeps the secrets of the sea locked in its heart. Night, 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 my boy, night, night. Close your little eyes, dream a little dream. Spy a little boat floating down a little stream. See the sails all glowing in the golden evening light. Watch the waves rolling. Night, night, my love, night, night. Dreamer and a dream are made to sail upon all through the night. The dreamer keeps his heart, deep in his heart, a memory of the light. A dreamer finds a way by feel through darkness to the dawn. A dreamer finds a way to heal the heart and carry on. Night, 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 my love, night, night. Close your little eyes, dream a little dream. Spy a little boat floating down a little stream. See the sails all glowing in the more evening light. Watch the waves rolling. Night, night, my love, night, 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 my love, night, night. Close your little eyes, dream a little dream. Spy a little boat floating down a little stream. Oh, that's so nice. Well, I'll practice it to get the words straight. It's so nice. I was going to make you smaller on the screen so you didn't have to be putting on too much of an act pretending you're having a good time. Well, tell us, when I was saying, give some history of Greenpeace, everybody can look that up, I guess. But let's talk about where do we go now? I find I've been in the NAACP for years too, by the way, and we were saying it's the same things we were saying 50 years ago. Yes, maybe there's been progress here on this front or that front, but the same. It's not like, okay, I wrote a song about that issue and we took care of that and that's gone. I don't have to sing that song anymore. So where are we?
Well, eternal vigilance. We've made some progress in some ways, but we're facing the same issues we faced 50 years ago. we're facing the same issues we faced 2,000 years ago. Humanity has always dealt with the pressures of life, for one thing. Survival is a challenging question, and of course, in our modern world, we see the ecological pressures of survival, perhaps much more clearly than maybe some of our ancestors thousands of years ago. But people have always struggled to live on the earth without destroying the land they live on. And this is an old story. If you read the Ramayana, ancient Ramayana from India, or the Epic of Gilgamesh from the Middle East, these issues of the abuse of nature, abuse of power, these issues all arise in these stories. And so in that sense, we're not necessarily dealing with fundamental issues that are new. But we have not made progress, really, I would say, either in the social justice issues or the ecological issues anywhere near what we're going to need to do to survive and endure. And we're wrecking the earth faster than ever. And we have this notion, we have this frame of mind, this perspective that I refer to, I would call human exceptionalism.
Yeah.
And we treat everything else as secondary to us. So if we need more housing, we cut down the forest and build more housing. If we need more water or we need more electricity, we'll dam a river and make more electricity for ourselves. And then we ask the ecological questions later. Oh, well, what's the best, what should we have done? Instead of asking what should we do in the beginning. So we have this kind of industrial juggernaut, which is just sweeping across the planet, taking every available resource. And now we're talking about electric cars and windmills and solar panels as if that's going to save us. And my concern, Jim, is that we're making another huge mistake.
Really?
That if we don't address the questions of human exceptionalism, human growth, human population growth, human consumption, and of course, we know that the rich consume a lot more than the poor among the humans, but the humans as a human family consume orders of magnitude more than any other species on the planet.
Yeah.
And so the destruction that we wield on the earth in order to create homes, food, transportation, and just the basics of life for ourselves is destroying the fabric of life on earth. And we add approximately 85 million humans to the human family every year. 85 million humans. Consider this, Jim. That would be like the entire population of Mexico City times 3.
Yeah.
Sao Paulo, Delhi, and Mexico City put together. That would be about 85 million people. And every year we add that to our planet. We have to build infrastructure for those people. Those people need food, they need water, they need medical care and attention, they need space to live in, and so forth. And we continue to displace all other species and natural habitats. And part of the problem with this is just our assumption and presumption of human exceptionalism, that we're special, we're the ones that have the right to every square inch of the earth. I don't know if you know this, but right now, humans and our livestock comprise 96.5%, roughly 96.5% of the mammal biomass on Earth.
Oh my gosh.
That leaves 3.5% for all the whales and giraffes and wolves and mice and shrews.
That's amazing. The message I got out of things I just learned recently is the whales, dolphins, and sharks. On the top of all of this, they're heading to extinction through what the fishermen call bycatch. And bycatch, what a name for this thing. So Oh boy. I don't know if anybody else can hear that, but sorry, I shut off my phone, but my computer rings when the phone is. I'm going to ignore that. Somebody's calling me. I wish it would stop. So when those guys go, the whales, the dolphins, the sharks, the ocean dies. And one of the predictions I just heard was shocking, that we got a decade or two before we kill the ocean, and then never mind climate change, or I mean climate, they're all tied together, but any of these other things, we're going to be lost. If the ocean dies, the earth dies.
Yeah, I don't agree with anybody who says we have X number of years to do anything. We don't have any
sure,
years.
okay.
We don't have any years to do anything. We overshot the capacity of the Earth at 50 to 100 years ago, if not earlier. And so every day that we allow the industrial human economy to keep chugging along and keep digging up more of the Earth and keep trashing more of the forests and spewing more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, every single day we go deeper into what the ecologists would call overshoot, which is our fundamental problem. Our fundamental problem is not climate change. Climate change is a symptom of our problem, and our problem is we have overshot the capacity of the Earth to sustain us. And so we try to make up for that by digging deeper holes to get more carbon and cobalt and lithium and all the minerals we need, cut down more forests and so forth. We've had, Jim, over the last, since 1979, when there the very first international global climate conference, since 1979, we've had 34 international climate conferences in those 43 years. And our carbon emissions have gone up every single year. And our carbon emissions are still going up. And we have all this talk of electric cars and windmills and solar panels and so-called renewable energy. And we don't see any net effect of all this effort, because we want to grow our economies. And now we think we can grow them in some kind of so-called green method by building things that we think are green. But for all the renewable energy and so forth that we need millions of tons of minerals, and so we're digging them up. Lithium, cobalt, silver, copper, and so forth and so on. And so we're just rolling along with this idea that, just around the corner is our salvation, but there is no salvation if we don't change our ways.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to do every trick in the book other than actually change.
Yeah.
And this is kind of the story of humanity. And whether it's the idea of an American exceptionalism or Russian exceptionalism or Christian exceptionalism or Muslim exceptionalism or any kind of exceptionalism is erroneous and wrong. And human exceptionalism is probably our really worst delusion. That
it's a phrase that I'm going to start to use.
And that we deserve some kind of special attention and special care and special rights that we can just roll over the earth. And what we're doing, of course, is undermining the foundation, the ecological, environmental foundation, the web of life that keeps us alive and floating. So we have to make fundamental changes, and we don't have 10 years or 20 years or 30 years. We have no years. We needed to do this 100 years ago, and we didn't do it. And we were warned 50 years ago with the Limits to Growth study and with the rise of Greenpeace and other things. We were warned, and we didn't change. We didn't make the change. So I would say that the ecological change right now on Earth for humanity is more urgent than it has ever been in our history.
And the things that you write, I love this song. Can I sing your song? Rex wrote this song apparently, back when we were in the same place 50 years ago. Whatever. I shouldn't put things that way. But the idea that that we're not above nature, or we're inextricable from this nature thing. And sometimes I think the only thing that's going to heal us is poetry, is art, and that for people to see this, a poem or a work of art, you can see somebody else's viewpoint, even if you don't agree with it. You can see, and that, rather than arguments, or even getting out on the street and demonstrating and all. I wish art could do it, and I guess that's what we're trying to do. I had some intro to this song. I've forgotten what it was. I want to tell you now, my friend, that you are what a flower is in the end. From a seed you grow, you blossom and die. And you think that a flower is in want of an eye, but it turns to the light like you and I. It turns to the light like you and I. But does a flower have a mind for a song, or an image or a verse to pass along? Is not its perfect symmetry a prayer to its God? It beckons the bee, and it's a song of the light to you and me. It's a song of light to you and me. I hear you ask about the heart, the soul and the spirit that give birth to the art. I can only say what I've seen. There's no wall between us and our power. Like the flower will fall, there's a river of light that runs through us all. There's a river of light that runs through us all. There's a river of light that runs through us all. There's a river of light runs through us all.
Yeah, beautiful to hear you do those songs, Jim.
Well, it's fun. In front of the composer here, I'm going to give me a little more time to practice. I'll get all the words straight. Keep smiling. Well, it's beautiful, Rex, and you've written beautiful poetry, but also great lessons for humanity are there, and in your blogs and your writing. What might you sum it up with, or something here? Any when I asked Pete Seeger what advice you got for, he said, well, I'd tell everybody to take their own advice.
Yeah. That's good advice.
Maybe get educated.
Maybe we can look into our hearts, but we have to look outside of ourselves. And I would say that's one of the most important things, is to understand that what I think of as the self, and I think that it would help us all to think of the self doesn't stop at our skin. We eat and drink from the earth. We breathe in and out with and to the earth. All the waste products that we throw away, we have to understand there actually is no way to throw them, that they go somewhere, and that somewhere is somebody else's habitat. and that we have to get rid of this notion of the private individual self, and not only that we are some kind of special ordained species that has special rights on the earth, and at the same time we have to take care of each other. I think that's very important. We don't have to be exceptional to take care of ourselves and take care of each other, and people are wounded and hurt and frustrated and disappointed and want a better life, and can get caught up and hung up in blaming other people for the lack of their better life, or for all sorts of reasons. So just both physical and emotional care of each other is very important, and will be important as we move forward. And all I would ever ask of anybody is they extend that care beyond themselves and beyond their family, beyond the human community, to all living creatures and all habitats, all plants and animals on Earth, and the fungi too, and open our hearts to being a part of this living web of life, and that alone will help us make the right decisions and move on. So there you have it. That would be my advice.
Thanks. I
Listen
feel
to
like
your heart,
if we
listen
could,
to the wild world, listen to nature.
if we can get people to appreciate how beautiful it is, which I'm not sure. I know people say, "Oh, sure, I get that," but how many of us really do stop to nurture ourselves with this beauty and all that? And I think if we can realize, not to point fingers at anybody else, because we're all in this, but there's a lot of money invested in keeping us unsettled, keeping us needy, keeping us divided, keeping us from talking to each other, keeping us all of that. Yeah. And can I mention, I'm celebrating that I just got this grant. It's a National Endowment grant to through the Worcester. I live in Worcester, Massachusetts. Through the Worcester Arts Council, to do this thing I've been dreaming of doing, putting my most, I'll say hardest hitting, but that's not what I mean, my most engaging environmental message songs, along with a multimedia projecting images and everything. And I'm calling it The Year to Save the Earth. The year to save the Earth was going to be 2020, but then COVID hit, and again, we're hit with something to distract us. But maybe we learned some lessons. People invested a lot of money in saving us from COVID. Maybe we can invest a lot of money in saving us from ourselves, as more of the Earth gets uninhabitable and everything. So I'm hoping to take this on the road, this multimedia show. It could be with a band. I've got choral arrangements, so I can do it with a choir. So there's my dream. And I told you I'm just working on a song that I've sung on this program 2 or 3 times already. The World Needs Your Voice, my Get Out the Vote song, because we still got, for the time being, a democracy going on. Well, I know you've got, everybody wants a piece of Rex Wyler, so I'd love to show you one more song, and then can I let you go?
Of course,
if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I know there's probably a clock on the wall, or higher power there somewhere. I've wished for the home that I could call my own, a place to be secure in the warmth of family, a place for love to grow, a place that I could know would hold fast as a refuge from the cruel winds that blow, from the cruel winds that blow. Everlasting home, turning toward the sun, a good day's work, a good night's rest, everlasting home, everlasting home. I've put my heart into you, evergreen, ever new, everlasting home. I've worked to have a home that is safe for all who dwell there, a place of peace, equality, and elegant simplicity, a place of understanding with all one would need to live in dignity. Door open to all who come in love, just as it welcomes me, just as it welcomes me. Everlasting home, turning toward the sun, a good day's work, a good night's rest. Everlasting home, everlasting home. I've put my heart into you, evergreen, ever new, everlasting home. If this earth is our home, our sanctuary, there's a threat and we must name it, not to poison or exploit, for we all own it. Not for sale, we claim it. When I'm done with this home, it will harbor sons and daughters who make a peace across the wide lands and rolling waters, family of all faiths, all colors, all paths to the spirit, with the music of all beings. If I listen, I can hear it. If I listen, I can hear. Everlasting home, turning toward the sun, a good day's work, a good night's rest. Everlasting home, everlasting home. I've put my heart into you, evergreen, ever new, everlasting home.
That's beautiful, Jim.
Let me see. How do I put us both? There we go. Where's the engineers in the when you need them?
Well, that's beautiful.
Well, it's really fun to connect with you, and I've so enjoyed. We've had a couple phone conversations lately. So great to be connected with you. I hope now that I'm getting on the road again, I hope I'll get out there to the West Coast. And I mentioned I've played at the Unitarian churches in Vancouver and in Victoria and stuff, and they like me. And this great choir called Getting Higher Choir. Do you know about them?
Yeah, no, that's my friend Siobhan.
Yeah.
Started that choir, the Getting Higher Choir in Victoria.
Yeah.
And they're still going.
And I just met the new directors of it, and she was on the thing called the Daily Antidote of Song at noontime every day. People sing a song. I got to be on there, and she was just on. Yeah, wonderful to see her carrying on. Although she retired from the group.
It'll be great to see you. Great to see you out here. And if you do come out this way, well, we for one thing we do is we produce a music festival every summer on Cortez Island, where I live. So you'd be welcome to come there and perform for us.
Yeah.
And
well, if I'm not too late, I'll get in line for that next summer.
Get in line for the Cortez Love Fest. It's a great show, a great day of music, and would love to see you out here. And there's always venues for good music, and so would love to see you out here. Thanks so much for the opportunity.
Well, a pleasure. And can I ask you? I know for a long time you were connected with Hollyhock Farms. Are you still living there?
Well, I'm there. I live on Cortez, where
which is an island after all for anybody who doesn't know.
I live on Cortez Island, where we founded Hollyhock in the 1980s. I was involved with the early years of Hollyhock, with founding Hollyhock and keeping it going for the first 16 years of its life. And it still continues on to this day. It's a great center for learning and education and the arts, and plus we live in this absolutely beautiful ecosystem, which I'm just about to show you and your guests. What a nice place we live here on Cortez Island. And this is beautiful Hague Lake,
Oh, wow.
where
Great.
we live, and this is yeah, this is where
That's
every year we have
so
the
cool.
here on Cortes Island. Every year we have the Love Fest Music Festival. So look forward to seeing you out here
Well,
sometime, Jim.
hope I can make it out there for that. Well, thanks so much for bringing your wisdom and an attitude to us all. I'll let you go get with your the paparazzi are after you here, and we'll look forward to being in touch before long.
Okay,
Thanks.
good to see you, Jim. All the best.
Be well.
Bye.
Oh boy. Though this program, I want it to be mostly music, I can talk too much. That was wonderful to have Rex on. Oh boy, let me see if I can play this song. Like the maple seed spiraling gracefully round, blow the winds, blow gently homeward. Like a feather's caress, it lights on the ground. Feel the winds blow gently homeward. Like a leaf on the water that goes where it goes, like a seed that can rest knowing all that it knows. Blow the winds, blow gently homeward. From the top of the sky, the blue darkness descends. Blow the winds, blow gently homeward. That's your part. For the trials of the day, do the stars make amends? Feel the winds blow gently homeward. Like a serpentine brook rolling lazily down, like the route to the heart that was lost and then found. Gently they turn, heading homeward. Like the rain of pure laughter with no place to hide, blow the winds, blow gently homeward. Like the hope for the dawn that takes refuge inside, feel the winds blow gently homeward. Like the road to the distance that's seen with eyes closed, like the route to the heart that's the wrong words. Like the vision of peace in the dreams you supposed. Just close your eyes and look homeward. I'll do that last part again. Like the road to the distance that's seen with eyes closed, like the vision of peace in the dreams you supposed. Just close your eyes and look homeward. have to see what time it is. So we'll admit to everybody that we're recording this ahead of time, and I'm going to play it tonight. I'll be watching it with you tonight. So you, what's the word? There it is. Any comments you make, maybe I can even be responding to them, so I'll be there. Although right at this moment, Jim is recording this 2 hours earlier because Rex had to move on to things. So I'm working on a video of this. I hope everybody can help get this video out in the world and make it go viral, because we've got to turn out people to vote. We won't be victims, won't be afraid. We got to heal the broken world we made. I forgot to retune the guitar again there. Another song where I tune it down. We won't be victims, won't be afraid. We got to heal the broken world we made. Make a change, make a choice. The world needs your voice. Register your intention, rock the boat. You can't complain if you don't vote. Express yourself, get everybody else. The world needs your voice. Here's the chorus now. The world needs your voice. The world needs your voice. Make a change, make a choice. The world needs your voice. Raise your voice, now is the hour. One voice than many, speak truth to power. Cry in anguish, shout and rejoice. The world needs your voice. Help me sing the chorus. The world needs your voice. The world needs your voice. Cry in anguish, shout and rejoice. The world needs your voice. Here's the big words. The forces of exclusion, obfuscation and confusion. The heads of power, those in the shadows, will feel a rising tide, gonna know which way the wind blows. Raise the spirit, raise a groundswell, raise consciousness, raise a little hell, faith resounding, a joyful noise. The world needs your voice. One more chorus now. The world needs your voice. The world needs your voice. Make a change, make a choice. The world needs your voice. 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 Won't be a full harmony. World needs your voice. Until every voice is free. The world needs your voice. Every single voice. The world needs your voice. Oh, yeah. Well, I always end with a little of this. And may your life be as a song, resounding with the dawn, to sing awake the light, then softly serenade the stars, ever dancing circles in the night. I didn't once say in this concert so far, thank you for donations. Scrolling across the bottom of the screen is that that banner with paypal.me, Jim Scott Music, and then Venmo as well. Or you can go to our website. Thank you for donations, big and small. They keep us going. And everybody sing. And may your life be as a song, resounding with the dawn, to sing awake the light, then softly serenade the stars, ever dancing circles in the night. And may your life be as a song, resounding with the dawn, to sing awake the light, then softly serenade the stars, ever dancing circles in the night, ever dancing